Jim Coyne, who's our project sponsor. He's going to be our project manager for this effort. He's going to talk about scheduling and kind of next steps.
Thank you, Don. Hello, everybody. How you doing? As Donnie said, I'm Jim Coyne. I'm the executive sponsor for the DCO project. And what I'd like to talk to you a little bit about is how we'll go about laying this out over the next several years in order to achieve a successful end result for you, us, and the state of Arkansas. This is a little hard to read if you're behind maybe the third row, and it's even harder if you're in the wings, so we apologize for this. What you see is an overall schedule for the DCO project, a 5-year effort that we are a good year into now. The part that is kind of important or most important to you folks will be this part here down on the bottom where we're actually migrating into the DIS shared services environment, your systems. Other part that would possibly be of interest to you is this part over here where we're engaging a systems integrator. They're going to come in, they're going to actually design the shared services environment, upgrade the technology that DIS is currently using in that environment. They're also going to help us work with you folks to plan the migrations. They're not going to necessarily be around for the actual execution of the migrations, but they're going to help us with the planning. Okay, who gets to go first? As I look out at your eager faces. Okay, obviously we love volunteers. And anybody who finds themselves in a position where they know they've got or they're on aging infrastructure, or they look at it and they say, you know, we're educators, we're not IT people. You know, come get this stuff. We would be more than happy to take volunteers. The next in the pecking order are going to be new system or application requirements for which work has already been done on the procurement. Things have already been lined up. The acquisition process is perhaps started. That's going to be next. After that come things that, and you all know that they're out there, servers that are 8 or 10 years old in some cases. Was talking to an agency earlier this week that are on an actual gateway server. The IT folks appreciated that, and I apologize to everybody else. Anyway, are due to be refreshed, applications or systems are due to be updated. We're going to be very, very interested in talking to you. Obviously, if you've just replaced infrastructure, if you're on a brand spanking new server, then unless certain other factors weigh in that we'll talk about here on succeeding slides, maybe we'll wait a little bit before we come talk to you. All new infrastructure implementations are going to be done in the shared services environment. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us to have folks going around standing up new systems and incurring those costs, only for us 2 or 3 years down the road to have to incur the costs again of moving into the shared services environment. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just implement you in the shared services environment to begin with. So anyway, after we get through the low-hanging fruit, we're just going to go ahead. We're going to start with the smaller agencies, see if we can clear them off our plates, work our way up to the larger agencies, the ones with multiple complex applications and systems. And the larger agencies can probably expect, rather than doing it all in one fell swoop, we're probably going to be migrating over several migrations of your larger systems, and it may be over a period of years before we get some of the largest agencies migrated. So, unfortunately, we can't necessarily help everybody at once. Hopefully, out of this discussion, we're going to get several agencies that are going to come up to us and say, help us. We would like to participate in this. We would like to get our stuff moved into new environments, safer environments, more secure environments, environments that are more stable in terms of power and environmentals. We want to go first. So how are we going to go ahead and figure out who actually does get to go first? I was talking to a couple of ladies from the Emergency Management Agency at the beginning of the meeting, and they're an excellent example of folks who might be picked to go first. If we're talking about life and limb sort of applications, things that might have a direct impact on the state's ability to respond to an emergency, that's going to be fairly high up in the pecking order in terms of deciding who goes first. We're going to follow that by the opportunities that will provide the greatest return to the state of Arkansas in terms of reducing costs and realizing efficiencies, basically the greatest bang for the buck. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take those agencies, those applications that are most readily able to be introduced into our shared services environment. Applications, environments that are already highly virtualized, VMware or Hyper-V environments that we can most readily just migrate over into the existing shared services environment or the evolving shared services environment as our system integrator helps us redo the architecture for the future SSE. In any case, we'll then ramp up to everything else. The important considerations, obviously, cost avoidance. Everything lives or begins and ends at cost. Implementing new functionality, agencies that need new functionality to meet regulatory requirements or things like that. That's obviously going to be very important. I talked a little earlier about replacing aging infrastructure. Some of the stuff that I'm given to understand is out there should have been replaced a long time ago. We need to go ahead and get that done. And then we also, of course, have to be sensitive to basically your business. What's important to you folks? And in a lot of cases, there are agencies that have serious concerns relative to timing. For instance, it probably wouldn't be a good idea for us to migrate the Parks and Tourism's reservation system at the beginning of the summer. Might not be a good idea for us to do things at the beginning of school terms. We have an SEC football game coming up here at War Memorial Stadium that we're in the process of doing upgrades for there that needs to be done by a specific date. So we need to be sensitive to your calendars and your schedule concerns. Okay. The next question is, how do we get in line for this process? All the members of the poll team are actually here in the auditorium with you, and they're going to be available after the meeting. Come up and talk to us. Honest, I promise we don't bite. And we'll be more than happy to talk to you about your environments, to set up follow-on meetings, and get with you and figure out how we can best do this out. We've also published the poll team member information on the Push Poll Team website. The link is there. You'll see it again at the end of the presentation as well. Engage with your DIS customer relations managers. Guys like Clay Causey, guys like Josh or Donnie. CRM folks. Okay, you guys all know them. They're the folks who interact with you on behalf of DIS on a daily basis. They will be more than happy to help you get into this process and kick it off. If you don't come talk to us, eventually we'll come talk to you. So in any case, we look forward to working with each and every one of you. I personally do. You were all hand-picked by your organization. So I am looking at the best of what the state of Arkansas state government all of you. And with that, Donnie?
Sure. Thanks, Jeff.